Wonderful people, viewers and subscribers, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you're hearing me from. My name is Siriman. I'm Andianese, or you can address me as Okulora One Nation. Wow, make on see what in the happen. Oh, this message they come all the way from Japan. They say Wahala, don't tire apart. In fact, according to my people, they say you hear the smell. And I see what in the happen now. Nigerian government, because they want to recognize Biafrans, or rather Igbos, as part of them, as part of people with their same culture and the same language. Because if you look at CBD, which is the original language of the Biafrans and that of Japan, it looks similar. In fact, when you check the meanings, they also look similar. Their names, both their street names, and also similar with that of Igbo. So when the JICA gave a room for Africans to have a kind of a city they can call their own. So on the case of Nigeria, they tell them right before their face, even Tulumbu was there, that this place has been allocated to you based on our affiliations with the people of Biafra. As I'm talking to you now, they went behind though, sending Bianca Ojukwu again to go and make them to cancel everything, even the ones they have given to other Africans. You can imagine how dirty and how wicked these people are. But trust their media houses now. Look at what they write here. I will read it for you, but what I just told you now is exactly what happened, because I have somebody in Japan. I have over 10 to 15 people that are living in Japan. Close friend, close ally, business associates who gave me this information earlier on before I saw this in nigeriannews.com. Anyway, let me show you what they write here. But before that, please make sure that this message goes viral. We are going to defeat them. Their bad belly, whatever they are doing, their jealousy, their anger, in fact, they will cry more as we move forward. It has led to misunderstanding and confusion. Japan cancels Africa Hometown Project. Anything APC, Nigerian government, and the Tufumbu cannot do does not exist. Anyway, make us see another one where they here. This one is from Family Writers International. They call it Icon News. The unjust detention of Nnamdi Kanu extend on Nigeria's human rights record, if they have any, because I'm sure they don't have any. Nigeria don't have anything that got to do with the human rights. So why are you saying it's extend? Extend, of course, 10. Anyway, let us go straight to the reason why we are here. But just hold that thing I told you earlier on. That is the main news. According to information here, they say the government of Japan has scrapped the JICA Africa Hometown Initiative initially announced by the Japanese International Cooperation Agency, which is JICA. The Japanese government said the initiative was withdrawn because it led to misunderstandings and confusion within Japan and placed an excessive burden on the 4 municipalities designated to host the African Hometown Project. Nigeria News report that the discontinuation of the program was announced in a statement which happened yesterday on Thursday, released via the JICA website. It also apologized to the Japanese local governments initially designated for the hometowns for the inconveniences caused. The statement read, originally, under this initiative, it was envisioned that exchange programs would be coordinated and implemented among the Japanese local governments, relevant African countries, and JICA. The specific details were to be determined later, according to what we have here. However, JICA believes that the very nature of this initiative, namely the term hometown, and the fact that JICA would designate Japanese local governments as hometowns, led to the misunderstandings and confusion within Japan's and other African countries that are not being placed in an excessive burden on the 4 municipalities. JICA sincerely apologizes to the municipalities involved for causing such situations. This one, the Nigerian government, then they write this one. Don't mind what JICA everywhere. That's what they do. JICA take this situation seriously after consulting with all parties involved. Another JICA again. JICA has decided to withdraw the JICA Africa Hometown Initiatives. Nigerian News recalls that the initiative was launched in August during the 9th Tokyo International Conference on African Development with the goal of promoting exchanges between 4 Japanese municipalities and 4 African countries through cultural and educational programs. In explaining the program, the Nigerian government, in a statement by the Director of Information at the State House, Abiodun Odundoye, had claimed that Japan would create a special visa category for Nigerians who wish to relocate to Kisarazu, a city designated as hometown to Nigerians, most especially the Ndibo people. Thank God you write Ndibo people here, Ndara, which is under the Africans scheme. Okay, however, on August 26, the Japanese government don't come out, can't deny, say, no special visa. Nigerian government say, na lie, they lie. And propaganda saying, na waiting they carry rule their people, so may they not carry this nonsense, come enter their territory. And I don't see how these people, they so they lie. Any country they go, they will come and lie one thing and tell you they don't secure deal of how many billions. If they get another country, they come lie, come say they don't secure billions of dollars, billions of naira, billions of sefa, billions of this and billions of that. Whereas, Anthony Leo, Asiocha. Anyway, another information here. Unjust detention of Nnamdi Kanu, a stain on Nigeria's human rights record. Oh yeah, may we listen to this one. This one will not go read, but we are going to listen. As you are listening, please kindly share your own personal opinion also at the comment section. Oh yeah, let's go there.
The unjust detention of Nnamdi Kanu, a stain on Nigeria's human rights record. For over 4 years, Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, has languished in detention under the custody of the Nigerian government.
I am recording. This one is not my voice, so make nobody don't go mistaken and say, nah, I don't change voice. This one from, what do they call it, Family Writers Press International page. This one, where I got the news. So this one, they know right, they drop voice. So make a recorder for my people so that I go also follow me, listen. Because I say, I wanna equal manchano babu pishi and anjesoro and I equal Nigeria government as a equal na say I have one get you. This fight, where did they fight? Where did they find from the Igbos? They go so find them and but they go tell anybody. Or don't say Igbo know they carry last for anything what they do. Oh yeah, let's go.
Arrested in June 2021 after being extraordinary renditioned from Kenya, Kanu faces charges of terrorism and treasonable felony, yet the government has failed to produce evidence to substantiate these grave accusations. This prolonged detention without a fair trial is not only a blatant violation of Kanu's fundamental human rights, but also a chilling testament to the Nigerian state's intolerance for dissenting voices, particularly those advocating for Biafran self-determination.
If you are watching, please kindly help me to share, the subscribe. Because all the very, very important part, the share, subscribe, like, and comment.
Is a politically motivated assault, rooted in his unapologetic push for Biafra's independence, and it exposes the government's alarming disregard for justice, due process, and democratic principles. A lack of evidence and a mockery of justice. The Nigerian government's case against Nnamdi Kanu is built on shaky foundations. Despite the severity of the charges leveled against him, including terrorism and incitement, the prosecution has consistently failed to present concrete evidence linking Kanu to acts of violence or terrorism. Court proceedings have been marred by delays, adjournments, and a troubling lack of transparency, raising serious questions about the integrity of the judicial process. The absence of substantive evidence after 4 years of detention suggests that the charges are a pretext to silence Kanu and dismantle the IPOB movement, which seeks a referendum for Biafra sovereignty. The Nigerian Constitution guarantees the right to a fair trial and the presumption of innocence, yet Kanu has been subjected to prolonged pre-trial detention without bail. Internationally, his treatment contravenes the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, which Nigeria is a signatory to. These frameworks explicitly protect individuals from arbitrary detention and ensure the right to a speedy trial. By holding Kanu without credible evidence, the Nigerian government is not only undermining its own legal system, but also flouting its obligations under global human rights standards. The detention of Nnamdi Kanu is emblematic of a broader pattern of human rights abuses by the Nigerian government against those who challenge its authority. Reports from human rights organizations, including Amnesty International, have documented the harsh conditions of Kanu's confinement, including restricted access to legal counsel, family visits, and medical care. Such treatment amounts to cruel, inhuman, and degrading punishment, further compounding the injustice of his detention. The government's heavy-handed tactics extend beyond Kanu to his supporters and the broader Biafran population. The Nigerian security forces have been accused of extrajudicial killings, mass arrests, and violent crackdowns on peaceful IPOB protests, creating an atmosphere of fear and repression. These actions reveal a deliberate strategy to criminalize dissent and suppress the legitimate aspirations of those who, like Kanu, advocate for self-determination. The right to self-determination is enshrined in international law, yet Nigeria's government has chosen to respond with brute force rather than dialogue. Political persecution for Biafran. Advocacy. At the heart of Kanu's detention lies his vocal advocacy for Biafra, a cause that resonates with many Biafrans who feel marginalized by the Nigerian central government. The Biafran movement, born out of historical grievances from the 1967-1970 Nigerian Civil War, reflects deep-seated frustrations over economic neglect, political exclusion, and cultural discrimination faced by the Biafran people. Kanu's calls for a referendum on Biafra's independence have been met with fierce resistance from a government that views any challenge to Nigeria's unity as a threat to its authority.
I hope you are listening, please. We chanting off Makena and Ifan this news. Kena Fukarat na even Oyibo, they don't shut their eyes. In fact, they don't shine their eyes. Open up their ear. Why they listen, they watch, say, may they know what will happen today. Because today is the day we all believe that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu should be set free. If they really want peace in that zoo called Nigeria. Let us continue.
Rather than engaging with the underlying issues fueling the Biafran agitation, the Nigerian government has opted to vilify and oppress Kanu. His detention is a clear attempt to silence a charismatic leader whose influence has galvanized millions. By branding him a terrorist without evidence, the government seeks to delegitimize the Biafran cause and intimidate its supporters. This approach not only exacerbates tensions in the old southeastern region, but also undermines Nigeria's democratic credentials on the global stage. The continued detention of Nnamdi Kanu is a travesty of justice that demands urgent action. The Nigerian government must immediately release Kanu or ensure a transparent and expeditious trial that adheres to due process. Anything less is an affront to the rule of law and a betrayal of Nigeria's constitutional principles. Furthermore, the government must cease its crackdown on IPOB supporters and engage in meaningful dialogue. The international community also has a role to play. Nigeria's partners, including the United Nations, African Union, and Western governments, must pressure Nigeria to uphold human rights and respect the rule of law. Silence in the face of such abuses risks emboldening authoritarian tendencies and eroding democratic norms across the region. Nnamdi Kanu's detention is not just about one man, it is a litmus test for Nigeria's commitment to justice, freedom, and democracy. By keeping him behind bars without evidence, the government is sending a dangerous message that dissent will be crushed and human rights will be sacrificed on the altar of political expediency. Nigeria must choose a different path, one that respects the rights of all its citizens, including those who dare to dream of a different future. Until Nnamdi Kanu is freed or given a fair trial, Nigeria's claims to democratic governance will remain hollow, and its moral authority will continue to erode.
And that is the end of the message. Very, very clear. Some people will say, hey, don't they use AI? One AI. Oh, you want to it's one AI up to you. But the fact still remains that Nigeria government are really trading on a very dangerous path. that will lead to destruction if care is not taken. Anyway, now here I go take back break. TGIF, thank God it is Friday. So make on enjoy on the rest of on a day, as I will say, bye for now. Kemesiano, my people.